Loxley, I'll eat your heart out with a spoon. Welcome into the Bro 4 Squad podcast. Somehow we're still around doing this, just a bunch of bros talking superheroes, movies, and superhero movies. I am your host, Jeff Hornacek. Very special episode today in our 35th as we have a very special guest on, good friend of the pod, Chris Woodburn. So let's go around and meet the bros. Chris, thanks for coming on, man. Glad we were finally able to do this.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure. I'm fans of you guys for the past 5-6 months or so, and it's an absolute joy to be on here with you guys.
Likewise, man. Always good to have a fellow bro on to talk movies with us. And that segues us into the other bro on the pod, Into the Lab, where we find a man who once left a Yelp review for his local Applebee's with the subject line, quote, "They kicked me out for biting someone, and I'd do it again if I had the chance." Brian Banner, defend yourself.
I stand by my statement. Look, they had it coming. If they would have just brought my cheese sticks out when I asked for them, we wouldn't have had an issue.
You know, I've been to some Applebee's where actually biting a person probably tastes better than some of the food that they bring out. So
yeah, but that Fiesta Lime chicken, that shit's dope, yo.
That sounds disgusting, actually. All right, guys, if you've not listened to us before,
it's good.
We like to break everything down into topics bros can understand. Most important thing is always our chest day topic. We're a little light on news as we get towards the end of the year, so we're going to skip that and go straight into our protein shake, which is usually the second thing we like to take care of. So between Justice League's trailer this past Sunday and The Last Jedi trailer, which as we're recording this is about to air during Monday Night Football, so when you're listening to this, you've probably already seen it. The end of movie season is upon us, so let's not pussyfoot around. We've talked about these two movies ad nauseum, but for the last time before we actually see them on the pod, what are we looking forward to most in either of them, or what are we afraid of? Chris, we'll go to you first. That Justice League trailer pretty much blew my mind. I'm guessing that The Last Jedi trailer will do the same. How pumped are you for either of these movies, and is there anything you're kind of scared of? Because I don't know if you're like me, you get my hopes up a lot, and if these things let me down, it's pretty heartbreaking.
Well, let me first start off by saying that I was not blown away by that Justice League trailer that premiered yesterday.
Wow.
To be quite honest, I was very underwhelmed. Now, I'm still very excited for the movie. I'm hoping that we get a mixture of, Zack Snyder's action sequences, which we can all agree are top-notch, with Joss Whedon's great storytelling. So I'm still very hopeful for the movie. I am a little nervous because, like you said, we got our hopes up for last year's Batman v Superman. We all remember how that turned out. So I'm still hopeful, but a little sketchy. And yesterday's trailer did not knock my socks off. As for the Last Jedi trailer, I have all the confidence in the world in that film because of Rian Johnson. I think all his sensibilities that he brings as a director will make for possibly the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. Tonight's trailer, I'm sure it's going to wow us in ways that we can't imagine. So I'm just super hyped for both films. But Last Jedi, I have no doubts that we're going to get a kick-ass movie.
Oh, wow. Very well said, dude. If let me just say this. I'm going to wear out the button on my keyboard on YouTube watching that trailer over and over tonight. Great point about Rian Johnson. If you're out there and you haven't seen Looper or maybe this little show called Breaking Bad, check either of those out because the guy is a genius. And Chris, you actually bring up a good point about Justice League. A lot of people are worried that Joss Whedon's coming in to take over Snyder's vision. We can debate whether that's happening or not, but you put it best, man. Snyder knows how to direct a badass action scene, and Whedon's a great storyteller. So maybe we'll just get the best of both worlds in a combination of those two coming together.
Never gonna
exactly.
All right, Banner, on to you. The Justice League trailer came out yesterday. As always, DC knows how to make a badass trailer. I thought the action was great, but I can definitely see where Chris is coming from, where the BVS trailers were great and fan response to that was mixed at best. What do you think? Either of these two movies moving the needle for you at all?
That trailer, to me, it was like a big-ass cop-out. Because we all know here's the thing. We've been saying from day one, we better not fucking see Superman in these trailers, right? And what do we get? Freaking Clark Kent. Is that not like the biggest like pussy move ever?
I mean, I kind of knew they were going to do it. That doesn't mean I wasn't a little disappointed, but they could have spoiled worse.
They could have spoiled it worse. I agree, but it's still them doing a typical trailer that they do, make a badass trailer and show us more than what we actually want to see. But they're showing us more than what we need to see. They're not showing us they're showing us what people kind of want to see. Maybe not. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just know I was really upset about that. But Jason Momoa, he gave me the biggest boner ever. I know that that's Geiger's boy, but I mean, I cheat on my wife with him. 100%.
Now, I'll say this to Chris's point about BVS. When they spoiled Doomsday in the BVS trailer, I was a little let down, kind of thinking, I don't know if there's any more surprises left in this movie for me. I still feel like they have something up their sleeve for Justice League. Before we move on, Chris, do you kind of feel the same way, or do you feel like DC sort of put all their cards on the table with that Clark Kent reveal at the beginning of the trailer?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't mind them showing Clark Kent because even before it actually was revealed, I knew it was a dream sequence. I knew that instantly. And it was much better to show that than to show Superman, which, I've been telling everybody, it would be a colossal mistake to show Superman in a trailer. Yes, we all know he's coming back, but we don't want it revealed. The same goes with Doomsday and BBS. We didn't know that Doomsday was going to be in it, but our minds would have been blown seeing him for the first time in the film. So I'm really happy that they didn't show Superman in the trailer, or any of them for that matter. And Momoa, yeah, he was impressive in the trailers, but for me, the standout out of all the trailers is Flash.
Yeah.
All the best shots and scenes in the trailers had him involved.
It's kind of interesting too, now that Wonder Woman was such a success. Not so much in the trailers, because those are, cut and parceled from obviously what's in the film. But if you look at a lot of the promotional material, the posters, the banners, a lot of the stuff you'll see on websites with the team, Wonder Woman has started to be more front and center in this movie, obviously because her solo film was a success. And I'm totally cool with that. I know we get mad at DC on the show a lot for being so reactive. Like, if fans like a certain character, they're like, okay, give them 3 movies, a la Harley Quinn. Or if people don't like someone, they'll scrap and change their entire slate. But I think Wonder Woman needs to be a bigger part of this. And Gal Gadot, if you're out there listening, we are big fans of yours, to say the least. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Definitely.
All right, guys.
One other quick point I want to make about Justice League. I feel, this is not confirmed yet, but I think after Justice League, we're unfortunately going to have to bid farewell to Ben Affleck as Batman. I truly believe we won't see him again, and they're going to use that Flashpoint movie to recast somebody.
Yeah, that would be a creative way to do it. I know Geiger really wants to see Batman die on screen. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but maybe if they had plans for that, they could at least get Affleck to come back and film like a shorter scene or something like that.
Look, if they kill him off and then recast him and start over, I win. Because
you win?
Yes, that's exactly what Fox did with X-Men. And so that means that I win, because now they're copying success.
I love how Fox is now you. Like, I win. It's not about the studios. It's about Brian Banner. And I can respect that. This pod's all about I. It's a good mentality to have.
Exactly. Guys, there is no team. No I in team. Again, that's because we're not a team.
I did not know where you were going with that. I thought you were going to redo the saying, but that actually makes sense.
Hey, Brian.
What's
Brian,
that?
there's no I in team, but there is a me.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. This guy fucks.
Yeah, Chris gets it. On to our final segment of the show. Brian, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, brah.
Do you even lift, brah?
Brah. You even lift, brah?
Yeah.
Yeah, lift, brah.
And that takes us to our fan question segment. Do you even lift, brah? If you know the name Chris Woodburn, it's because you've seen him in this segment of the show plenty of times, throwing out some great questions for us. Today we get our first question from Akimael at Akimael. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, which I probably am, dude, just rip into us on
There's
Twitter.
no way you got that right.
No, there isn't. But, at least I'm out here trying, Brian.
Oh, yeah, I don't have the balls. I wouldn't have tried that.
And he asks, If Hollywood gave you a chance to direct a big budget film, but it could only be a remake, which would it be? Chris, we've talked about rebooting a lot of movies on here, but never with us as directors, which would obviously be a train wreck. Which movie out there would you like to take a crack at?
To be quite honest, I think there's really only one choice as far as big budget movies goes. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wow, yes.
Great choice.
Because what M. Night Shyamalan did with that film of his, it was tragic. I mean, he completely reduced that entire franchise to rubble. He tore everything down that what had been built up in the animated series. And if there were one film, it would be I would take a crack at that.
That movie was more depressing than Dev Patel's previous movie that he starred in, Slumdog Millionaire, and for totally different reasons. Just because it was sad to watch a train wreck like that on screen. That's a great one, man, because that had serious franchise potential, and that was when M. Night Shyamalan was just so ice cold. It was kind of hard.
He needed a win there, and he just swung and missed.
Yeah.
And like the worst part about that movie was the trailers had me so hyped.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's why so many people went the first week and then everyone was like, stay away, like it had the plague.
Yeah.
Banner, what do you got here? What movie would you want to take a crack at in the director's chair?
All right. If I were in the director's chair, big budget film, we're talking huge explosions, Michael Bay style.
Ugh.
I know. Demolition
you would
Man.
The directing style after Michael Bay.
I would. But give me a Michael Bay Demolition Man. I'm casting David Bautista as Stallone's character, and Wesley Snipes is still playing his character.
Okay, you can't bring back Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, but he needs the money, and I can get him on the cheap.
All right. This makes it sound like Wesley Snipes is a family friend of yours. You're just helping him out, because no one would go see that movie.
You don't know that he isn't.
I've never seen you talk to him, but I wouldn't put it. You might actually be more famous than Wesley Snipes right now.
I know I pay more taxes than him.
All right, mine is going off a movie that actually just got a reboot, reimagining, but it tanked really hard, and I think fans want and deserve a better one. I'm going to go with Ghostbusters. And I actually have a cast that I would roll out there too. Since we're going big budget, Chris's is going to be spent on the special effects for Airbender. Mine's going to be spent on the cast here. So we're going to have, and you can put these guys in any Ghostbuster role you want, but Steve Carell, Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, and Romani Malco, that's the four guys from 40-Year-Old Virgin. Get them all back together as the four Ghostbusters. And just to put the cherry on top, let's dip back into the 40-Year-Old Virgin cast and give me Elizabeth Banks as Janine, their secretary. Let's get the taste of that Paul Feig Ghostbusters movie out of our mouths, and let's do it right with this cast.
I love your pitch. I love it, Jeff. I love it.
Thanks, man. Let's get a GoFundMe started, guys. I only need like $120 million to make this happen, okay? And it starts with a single penny donation from you at home.
Cue Sarah Glaufman music.
It works, man. That music triggers an emotional response.
You will remember me.
Our second question comes to us from Darren Lucas at New Guy Review 101, who asks, what movie would you like to recast if it was getting released this year? So Banner and I kind of cheated and did this on our last question. So Chris, right the ship here. You got to release a movie this year and recast it. What are you going with?
Now we're going any movie that's ever been released, correct?
Any movie.
Any movie.
The movie that I would recast and do everything all over again is Batman and Robin. Now, who would I cast? I would. Let me go back.
Chris,
to
let me help you out with this because that's actually the exact movie that I picked. So let me help you out with this. All right. We've got Batman and Robin turned out to be a comedy, right? We can all agree on that.
Unintentionally.
But it was a comedy. So how do we make this movie not funny? Let's cast Kevin James as Batman.
No.
That way you know it's not funny. Give me Zac Efron as Robin and Jennifer Lawrence as Poison Ivy. Because you need somebody that can mail it in but is still hot.
So, Brian, your goal is to make no one see it again. That's basically your goal.
More or less.
All right. Chris, can you do any better than
all right,
Kevin
all right,
James' Batman?
I got you. All right. For Batman, I'm going to cast Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah. I would watch Michael Fassbender in a tampon commercial for 2 hours.
Okay, as Robin, I'm going to go with, what was his name?
Taylor Kitsch.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Spider-Man as Robin. Love it. Double dipping.
Okay, as Poison Ivy, I'm going to go with Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, my God,
Wow.
yes.
As Mr. Freeze, I'm going to cast Bryan Cranston.
Yep. Him with the Zordon look, I could definitely see it.
Yeah.
I'm there, dude.
Yeah, that would be my cast.
I mean,
and
I
I'd
don't know.
bring
I think my cast was still pretty solid, but I mean, you know.
pretty solid for Stinkfest.
Yeah, Brian, you just had the second best fan cast of Batman and Robin in the last 30 seconds. That's not a good thing for your track record. Let me right the ship here. I'm going to do, since Christmas time's coming up, guys, I don't want to see this movie remade, but if it had to be, I think I have a good cast for it. I'm talking Home Alone. It's an all-time classic movie, one of John Hughes' best films, and that's saying something. Here's my cast. Jacob Tremblay from The Room with Brie Larson is going to be Kevin McAllister. Hottest kid actor going right now is going to be in the Predator movie next year also. And then as Marv and Harry, give me Charlie Day and Jason Sudeikis. Two guys who we know have great chemistry and I think would be hilarious alongside each other as bumbling criminals. I was going to put Jason Bateman in there, but he's not stupid enough to play Marv and Harry.
Jason Bateman could be Kevin's dad.
That's a very good one. Yes, he could. And then give me like Christopher Walken as his neighbor, the shoveler guy.
Yeah.
Kevin McAllister, what are you doing home alone? That's him at the end scene when he saves him. Totally normal scene. All right, guys, on to our last fan question of the show. This one comes to us from Rocka at Rocka, who wants to know, how would you redeem Jar Jar Binks in a standalone movie? Chris, I don't know if you can redeem Jar Jar Binks at all, but if you were forced at gunpoint or at threat of like someone hurting one of your loved ones, how would you make an attempt to save this character in his standalone film?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head that there really is no way to redeem Jar Jar Binks, but if you had to try, I think you turn him into a badass instead of this bumbling idiot, where he's a badass warrior and he's just taking out fools like it's nobody's business.
He walks around with leather pants on. He always has a chain. Smokes like cigarettes a day. I would see that Jar Jar Binks movie. Banner, what do you got?
A Gungan version of Wolverine minus the adamantium.
Dude, you're actually selling me on this movie right now. Take my money.
I actually don't think that I should say anything because that was too good of an idea, and I'm going to look like even a bigger fool, especially after my Batman and Robin cast. I honestly, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, I think the only way that would even be acceptable other than Chris's suggestion there is go with the popular fan theory that a lot of people want of making him a Sith Lord and showing him manipulating people on the back end and just being a badass dude.
I'm ashamed to say that when I watched the YouTube video on that theory, I kind of believed it more than I thought I should.
I think that's the only thing that might be able to redeem it.
Man.
Yeah, Jar Jar is Snoke.
Yep.
Wow. Twist of all twists. Take that, 7. All right, so mine, I'm actually going to make an attempt to explain to people why Jar Jar is the way he is. So mine is a Jar Jar origin story. Picture a beautiful mind. Jar Jar is a child. We learn he was actually a chess prodigy and one of the smartest Gungans before he was in a horrific hang gliding accident, rendering him functionally incapable and with 1/8 of his previous mental capacity. But then also in this movie, because while we're here, we might as well slip in another origin story. We also learn that Boss Gungan, the big fat Gungan leader guy, didn't used to have a lisp. Actually, he was at the Air Force versus San Diego State football game in 1989. He bought some hot chocolate. He drank it before it was too hot, and it burnt his mouth. And that's why he talks the way he does, with the all the time. So we're riding the ship right there. All right, guys.
You tied up a lot of loose ends, so, I mean, it makes sense.
I'm doing Lucasfilm's work for them. I feel like I should send them a bill in the mail. Like, guys, you owe me a little bit of money because I saved you on this one.
I don't know that they can afford it.
Probably not. Especially with the money they're spending on that advertisement tonight. So We'll save them the pain. All right, guys, we have been the Bro 4 Squad podcast. Thanks so much for checking this out. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Bro 4 Squad. Give us a like on Facebook, Bro 4 Squad podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, Bro 4 Squad, 3 words. If you leave us a review on iTunes, we'll read the shit out of it on our show. And check out everything we're doing on our website, bro4squad.com. For our good friend Chris Woodburn and the mad scientist Brian Banner, I'm Jeff Hornacek. Thank you, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop.